Okay, thanks for joining for another video. And today I'm going to unbox a Badland 5,000 pound winch that I got from Harbor Freight. Obviously not the highest quality of winch, but hopefully it's going to do what I need it to do. So my plan for this is to be able to use it on our shoreline for either trees and or bringing up and down our boat lift, which is going to be the primary use, is the boat lift and docks. So in a previous video, I've used a come along winch, and I'm kind of sick of using it because you have to reset it multiple times as you're pulling up the lift. So it takes quite a bit of time. This will make life a lot easier. So I just quickly unboxed it and hooked it up. Everything looked good in the box. This winch is $150, $160 after tax in Wisconsin. And yeah, so I just began hooking it up. My next order of business is I'm going to build a winch box. So I'll probably make a separate video on that. And then another video on me lowering the lift this year down into the water using the new winch and box. So my first initial thought is I'll make it out of aluminum because this is already probably a good 20 to 25 pounds. So it's already getting pretty heavy. So I'd like to make the box out of aluminum, and then obviously you need a battery, and then there's some other cabling that comes with this as well. And it'd be nice to kind of put everything in a box. That way it's all together. I have seen some other videos online, people using like plastic cases, which I thought was very interesting. Good idea for sure. But in my case, I want something that's going to be able to get beat up quite a bit. So anyways, that's what we're going to be doing with this guy. The rest of the All right, so I think I kind of got an idea now with this winch, finally, on what we're going to do. Let me show you. I bought this on Marketplace for $5, so it's just a metal toolbox. I fixed this. I put a little rivet in there. This was loose. The handle looks secure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount the winch in here. So I'll drill 4 holes in the bottom. And then the front of the winch is going to come out here. I'm going to cut a little hole here. And then that way I'll be able to mount all the electrical in the box. And this is the electrical that needs to get mounted in there. And then I'll also be able to put a switch on the back too if I cut a little hole. So that's the plan. Right now I'm going to work on cutting that first hole and then go from there. So yeah, and then for the plate on the bottom, obviously you need to pull against something. I got this piece of aluminum. Looks like it's 10 gauge maybe. I'm going to double this up on the bottom. And that should be enough to pull against. So yeah, let's get to work and see how this ends up going. I gotta go get pants on. Okay, there's result number 1. I don't use a grinder a ton, so I like to take it slow. The edges are obviously sharp. I'm just gonna touch those up a little bit with either a file or a different grinding disc. And then we'll continue on. Okay, so I did my first dry fit and looking okay. My problem is these won't quite fit out, they're hitting. And I want it to fit out because otherwise the cable could get frayed on this edge as it's going up and down. So I do got to cut it a little more, unfortunately. So let's do that. Okay, I actually didn't cut it anymore. I was able to get it in there just by tilting it forward. So this is what I want it to look like. Obviously it's not perfectly straight. Move this side back a little bit. That's a little better. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Now I just gotta mount. Gotta somehow figure out where the drill holes are for the feet. And mount that in there somewhat straight. Alright. Let's see what we got here. Six 5/8 it looks like. And then 6 1/2 to that part. Okay, just to make sure we get this right, I'm actually going to take this off and put it on the bottom and just mark it with a marker. I just don't want to run into issues, so. Oh, actually, yeah, I got to take these off too. All right, I'll be back. I need 2 hands. Okay, we got the mounting plate off. So now I want this about 1 inch from the front. Let's see how that looks. Whoops. Okay, let me retry that. Want 1 inch from the front. That's pretty close. Okay. Now we just need to get it as straight as possible. And then all I'm going to do is take a Sharpie and mark these corners and then drill them out. So I'm going to do that. I'll be back in a minute. Alright, so we got the hole pattern knocked out. Now I'm just going to cut this piece of aluminum. I'm going to do it twice. So there's 2 pieces. I want it 2 pieces thick. And then I'm going to bolt that on top of there. It wasn't quite wide enough, so I had to do extra 2 holes just to make sure it's secured on there. I don't want stuff ripping off. So yeah, I'll be back once that's all cut.
More Care program, which includes complimentary first-year maintenance on new vehicles and complimentary powertrain warranty.
Alrighty, what a bugger. I finally got that plate somewhat mounted in. And now I just have to put the winch on top of it. I had to make some mods to the aluminum on the bottom because the bolts weren't long enough. So what I did is I cut away that little section and this little section up here. Should still work fine. I added 2 bolts on that side. That way the second plate holds on good. Because I do feel like it needs to be that thick. So yeah, now I'm gonna install the winch and see how the rest of it goes. All right, and there we have it, installed. I did pick it up. It is definitely heavy. but it's not really going to get any heavier, so I think I can definitely handle it. I mean, I can handle a heavy loaded tools, so we should be good. Now I just got to do some wiring, hook up the block, and maybe put a switch on the front here. And we got a winch box. Alright, so I missed some of the fun. I got a lot of stuff done. The first thing I did was drill through the box on the back side. Let me change this light here. So you can see there, I mounted the block, the terminal block, whatever you want to call that thing. And then on the front side, I also drilled out what I needed for the hand controller and then the in and out switch. I used a drill bit and a Dremel to do that, and then a grinder for the square one. That was pretty interesting. It actually went a lot faster and better than I thought. Yeah, it looks really good. So now all I have to do is finish hooking up the wires, and we are pretty much done. Okay, I got most everything hooked up now. I put some of the boots on there just because it's kind of a wire hodgepodge. I want to get using this thing today, so I'm not really gonna clean this up until a later date. But yeah, let me show you. Once all these wires are in here, you know, there's a lot of wires, but I could trim them down if I wanted. Probably not going to, because they're not going to be exposed like on an ATV. So I'm just going to tuck those in there for a minute and show you what I got going on. So I'm able to put the top on like that, and everything's hidden perfectly. And then I can toss my positive and negative in here and close it up. Done. Look at that. Okay, the only thing I have left to do is I'm going to put this guy back here. I'm either going to drill 2 holes and do 2, or try 1. I'm not really sure yet what I'm going to do, but... Alright, status update. So I actually love that this thing's up here. I could put the controller in there and whatnot. That's perfect. So what I did was, I got these for $1.99 at the local hardware store. And basically I hooked them up so I can have quick clamps to the battery. Works super good. I just had a little bit of hardware I put in there and drilled some holes in them. And now we got power, and it works. Let's do this. I'm going to try to pull it and hold it at the same time. Maybe do this. Woo! Yeah. So yeah, works just like I envisioned it working. Yay, I finally got this drilled out. I would not recommend doing this without a big enough drill bit. Mine was too small, although we did get it done. I had to use a Dremel once again, and I broke a couple drill bits, but I think it's going to work. My only concern here is that one point of contact can withhold 5,000 pounds. According to our calculations, it can, but we'll find out. And I think I'm going to end the video here, and then I'm going to have a second one of me actually using this box. So hopefully you enjoyed the video, and tune in for the next one.